watching the 2024 SCAC Fall Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Colorado College cross-country programs. Tigers will once again be led as they head into the season with the guidance of head coach Alex Nichols, along with leadership from seniors Walt Jones and Isabel Olsen. Coach Walt, Isabel, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Coach, we'll open up with you heading into another season. I feel often I ask student athletes about kind of the recovery process, the resetting process of getting prepared for a new year. But for coaches, I would imagine it's very similar. You go through these challenges with your athletes throughout the course of the year, both emotionally, physically, and especially for you as a cross-country coach with outdoor season, it's a long year. So when you get to the end and you go through that reset process, what does that look like for you? How do you rejuvenate yourself, get yourself prepared for a new season, and ultimately how excited to be back at this starting point and ready for a new journey?
Yeah, I mean, on a personal level, resetting for me kind of looks like just enjoying the summer in Colorado, getting out, running, doing some trail races, things like that to kind of take a step back from the team for a second. But yeah, I think it is definitely more of a year-round sport with cross country and track kind of bleeding into each other. So then also just making sure that the beginning of the cross country season, we're not jumping straight back into practice like usual. We're making it fun for the students and honestly fun for the coaching staff too, kind of doing unique things with the time that we have right now. So that it's kind of, yeah, we're getting started with the season, but it's a fun time for everybody, I guess.
Walt, one of the things I've enjoyed about talking with Coach in the past is he's, emphasized that in preseason, one of the things that's so important to him is kind of this idea of unifying the team, coming together, helping everyone through the transition, get acclimated to the altitude. And one of my favorite traditions is seeing the content that comes from the preseason trip that the CC Tigers take and going up camping for a couple of days. Just kind of take me through this year's trip. How much do you enjoy that part of preseason? What is it like for a student athlete to kind of start your year with that? Is that something that you've grown to enjoy? And how important is that just building that team chemistry going into this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that our preseason trip is one of the sort of foundational parts of our season. And it really is an opportunity to set the tone for the season, both cross country, and then a lot of our athletes are going to continue on into the track season. Especially for those first years, we have a lot of new folks joining the team who we're super excited about, and to have the opportunity for them to meet the upperclassmen, for the upperclassmen to meet them, and to have that deliberate, focused time together. And then, of course, to go up a 14er like we did this year with Pikes Peak is just a really special opportunity that I'm grateful that CC gives us every year.
Isabel, coming into your senior season and return to the cross-country portion of the year. Last year, studying abroad, so missing out on that part of the year. But, closing out your junior season in style, an outstanding outdoor season, 5K SCAC champion to close out, that spring season for you. How much did, that strong outdoor season help springboard you into this fall portion of your senior year and the cross-country season? How excited to be back and running cross-country again?
Yeah, I'm so excited for this season. I feel like last season in track, all my races kind of funneled into each other, and I had a good race and then a better race and a better race, which is a pretty addicting and exciting feeling, that momentum. And it leaves you kind of feeling like you have some unfinished business and just some exciting things ahead. So I'm really excited for this season, especially after missing a season, feeling like I've been lacking some cross country in my life. So I'm very happy to see what the team can do and what I can do this season. I think it's going to be a really exciting fall for everyone.
Coach, one of the things that I've grown to appreciate about our preseason conversations over the years is kind of the perspective of the importance in your mind of kind of at times taking steps back from the training and making training and racing fun and continuing to allow for that growth. It's this idea of this 4-year plan and stacking years and trainings over the course of your career to see that consistent growth and how important that is in the growth of the program. So just talk a little bit about that in more detail. What are keys for you and finding the fun in the racing and the training for your student athletes? How do you provide that for these students year in and year out?
Yeah, I think the idea of just thinking more long-term is really helpful, especially for first years and even sophomores who are still kind of figuring out the college process. And there's just so much that is thrown at people all at once. And I think that, if I were expecting every single first year to be in the top 5 immediately and scoring points at conference and all of this, that would just be overwhelming to so many people. And that's going to take away from the joy of running. And running is just such a unique thing that we can do it for the rest of our lives. So if we can kind of, like you said, take a little bit of a step back when we need to in those stressful kind of situations of life, then you can just enjoy running more long term. And I think that is when you get, people who they figure it out their first year, kind of get more into it their sophomore year, and then junior, senior year, then all of a sudden you see these amazing improvements. And those are kind of just built on the foundation of making sure that running is not a stress in their life and making sure that it's one of the most enjoyable things in their life. Because I mean, even for me right now, like we talked about, my summer reset is going running in the summer, and like that, I think that wouldn't have happened if I even expected myself to be producing at a really high level as a first year in college at CC. So just having that experience myself, I think, is a good thing to look back on and know that students are going through a lot in college, and running should be an exciting thing, not a detriment.
Walt, coming into this your senior season, you've put together an outstanding 3 years coming into 2024, multiple-time All-SCAC performer in the cross-country season, 3-time team champion within, the group setting. And so I'm interested, what is it that continues to drive you as a runner? And where's your confidence level at as you get prepared for this 2024 fall year?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that I am really fortunate to be on a team that has grown immensely in the years that I've been here. We came in our freshman year, and Alex was the new head coach. And since then, it's been really remarkable to be part of a program that's had so much growth and so much. And I think that we're still on that trajectory, really focused on sort of the depth of the team. And that really drives me. I think that especially as a captain this year, trying to make sure that we're building a program that's going to last well into the future with our freshmen and with, everybody who's to come. I think that I'm really excited about that. On a more individual level, I definitely am excited this year to be racing again, to be, I had a really strong summer of training, and I'm ready to sort of get back into the swing of things. I was dealing with injury, and I think that it's now time to sort of really focus and try to run some PRs in my senior year.
Isabel, as one of the senior leaders within your group and listening to Coach talk about kind of this 4-year approach, how much have you grown to kind of appreciate, his mentality towards running? How has that helped you throughout your career? And, how as one of the senior leaders, do you kind of, maybe help some of the younger runners sort of understand that approach when maybe it could get a little frustrating, as a new person trying to kind of be the best runner you can be early on in your career?
Yeah, I think it's a constant reminder to just trust this process and trust our training, and that it might not click instantly, but we have 4 years here. And beyond that, we also have hopefully a lifetime of running ahead of us. I think it's really exciting to hear freshmen, sophomore, junior, all grades talking about goals within college, but it's even more exciting hearing people say what they want to do after they graduate. And it's always really inspiring to see what all of our alums are doing, whether it's triathlons, trail races, road races. So I think with Alex's training plan and just the team mentality of trusting the process, trusting this training, and knowing that it's not just going to pay off within the next 4 years, it's actually going to pay off even beyond that. And we're going to graduate healthy and still inspired and not burnt out and excited about running, which is a pretty fun team dynamic and coaching plan that we have.
Coach, we've talked about kind of your reset process and the philosophy within these two programs. Just tell me a little bit about these teams. What have you gotten to learn early on with these two groups coming into this season? Obviously, you've got two great leaders here with you. What are some of the characteristics, personalities within these groups that you think are really going to help them as they take on the challenges of the course of a cross-country season coming into this year?
Well, it's still early. I think people are still getting to know each other, especially the first years, and how they're integrating into the rest of the team. But the fact that we do get our time up at the CC cabin, having those sort of team culture talks and getting little pieces of what the team really wants to be, what they see themselves as is really encouraging, because it's more than just getting to know each other. It's deciding who we are as a team and what this season is going to look like. And based on what I've been hearing so far, I think it's going to be a really great group, and everyone just is on the same page, and that's really good to see.
I think we wrap up with the student athletes, both Walt and Isabel, as you've had conversations with some of the other teammates and leaders within your two programs about some of the goals and expectations coming into this season. What have those conversations looked like? And ultimately for your two teams, what's going to be key in accomplishing those heading into the year?
Yeah, sort of what Alex was touching on. I think we really are deliberate about setting those goals. And on the men's side, I think we do have some big goals for the season, and we're really hoping to repeat sort of our nationals performance last year and hopefully do better. I think we have a really deep squad, and we're really looking at the postseason with regionals and nationals as the goal this year. And that's what we're focused on.
Yeah, same on the women's team side. Really excited about that postseason regionals, nationals race. We also have some pretty exciting travel trips in Augustana and Terre Haute. So those are really exciting things on our radar that the team has been talking about. I think the keys to success here is making sure everyone stays inspired and excited and motivated, and healthy is always the key thing for running.
Finally, Coach, wrapping up with you, success can be measured in our sports world in so many different ways. And obviously, there's black and white measurements with times and places and finishes, of course, but, beyond the scope, and I hear you kind of talk about it. How do you, talk about success? What is the message that you deliver to your two programs and your student athletes? And ultimately, these seasons look successful if what plays out over the course of the year.
Well, yeah, it's always easy to kind of fall into those traps of thinking of the outcomes as the measurement of success. And like you said, it is a version of success is the end of the season. But I think we also do a good job of just talking about success, within the week, within the day, those sort of process steps that you can take that will ultimately impact the end of the season. But you can celebrate the fact that I got extra sleep last night, or I really focused on my nutrition this week, or I got an A on my last paper. Like, all of those things just add up to the bigger kind of success that most people are thinking about when they think about a whole season. So that's really what I think success looks like. And that comes down to what Isabel was saying, just staying healthy and happy, and then the rest kind of just takes care of itself.
Colorado College head cross country coach Alex Nichols, along with leadership from his program's seniors Walt Jones and Isabel Olsen. The Tigers will open up the 2024 campaign when they head out to the University of Colorado Springs Rustbuster on September 7th. Coach, Walt, Isabel, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the year.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks a lot.